Video game lost media is a topic that I haven't exactly covered here on this channel. Usually with the focus of a hunt being about some sort of pilot or something about the pre-production of a show, today I think we should take a crack at one of the most profitable branches of entertainment, home video games. Arguably one of the most marketable forms of entertainment today, video games are a staple of the modern day traditional and virtual social life. With platforms like Twitch, Mixer, and YouTube supporting video game content, I think it's time we take a look at what we have ahead of us. However, today's home video game is a bit of a lost media urban legend, because today we'll be taking a look at Sonic the Hedgehog Awakening. So, if you don't know what Sonic the Hedgehog is for some really weird obscure reason, allow me to break it down for you. Taking place on planet Mobius, Sonic is a really fast blue hedgehog tasked with taking down the evil Dr. Ivo Robotnik, also known as Eggman, before he is able to collect all 7 Chaos Emeralds and use their power for evil. It's a pretty cool concept, and has seen mass success due to the colorful and lovable cast of characters introduced with the world of Sonic, as well as the intense storylines portrayed. Sonic was pretty much the opposite of Mario at the time, which gave him a unique vibe. At the time, there were literally tons of characters trying to follow the whole Jumpman aesthetic. Released in 1991 on the Sega Genesis, Sonic the Hedgehog is a game that would inevitably rival anything else in the video game industry at the time. Released by Sega, the iconic blue hedgehog would eventually see so much success, he became the company's mascot. On top of Sonic's growing popularity, Nintendo would soon collaborate with Sega to release the Sonic games on their consoles. Fast forward to the age of the internet, and Sonic is pretty much as popular as he's always been. Sonic grew in popularity in every corner of the internet. Some not as good as others, yet it still put his name out there. Don't worry though, we're not going to cover legends like Sonichu or the cursed period of DeviantArt OCs. That's enough for its own video. The purpose here is that we're focusing on the mid-2000s, specifically 2006. 2006, what a time to be alive. YouTube was a year in, the Winter Olympics were held in Italy, and Sega releases a new Sonic game. Oh shoot, this should be good. Yeah, no. A lot of Sonic fans hated it. Honestly, I don't see the hate behind the game. It looks pretty decent to me. Yet again, I'm not the biggest Sonic fan out there. Sonic 2006, commonly referred to as Sonic 06, was released for 7th gen consoles. If you don't know what those are, it's basically the Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, and the Nintendo Wii. The game was also released for PC users as well. Keep in mind the last home console Sega ever released was the Sega Dreamcast in the late 90s. So, Sonic 06 introduced a character that a lot of people love, a lot of people hate, and I only know because I used him in a thumbnail once. That character being Silver the Hedgehog. Silver is a hedgehog, obviously, with psychokinetic powers. From what I remember of Silver, he's a good guy, and from the future to help save the planet. Silver was voiced by Pete Capella in Sonic 06. Remember that because he's important for this. A lot of people believe Silver was underrated and underutilized for Sonic 06 at the time, and I think I have found the solution to that. Enter Sonic Awakening. As far as I know, sometime in April of 2017, although it could have been much earlier, someone used the Wayback Machine on Pete Capella's website and looked at his resume. Upon his work listed, there was a title called Sonic the Hedgehog Awakening, where he voiced Silver. Now, you'd think that was just a working title for Sonic 06, right? Well, that would make sense if the game wasn't listed right above Awakening. So, when this was brought into the light of the Sonic fandom, they all started to speculate ideas as to what this was. Some thought it was a working title for another Sonic game, some thought it was some weird DLC, and others thought it was a lost, cancelled game. My first step was to make a list of possible leads for finding this. I took most of my leads from the cast of Sonic 06, that way it would be something closely related to what I'm looking for. I always update my leads page as I search, so if anything were to pop in my head, I'd be sure to write it down. These leads were mainly divided as companies to contact and voice actors to reach out to. Since Pete Capella was the voice of Silver in the English release of Sonic 2006, I stuck to the English voice actors for this. There were a few voice actors who I couldn't reach out to, and they didn't have their own websites. I also don't have IMDb Pro, so I couldn't contact them for their agents either. Usually during these searches, I try to go for a more broad perspective, and then work my way up into a more specific category until I reach a specific person. It's like a triangle, with Sega being the base and Pete Capella being the tip. Now, I know what you're all thinking. Why not go straight to Pete and end the search quicker? If I focus on a more broad scale, say speaking to Sega, Sega's bound to have more information than Pete, since all he did was voice act for it. He may have read the script, but he doesn't have anything for the production of the actual game and its design. So, my first contact would be to reach out to Sega of America. They at least would have to have something since they already had an English cast selected for the supposed game. If this video has been edited right, there should be a graphic on screen for how the search is conducted. At the base of the graphic is Sega. This means just Sega as a whole, so this includes branches of Sega like Sega of America, Sega of Japan, all kinds of stuff. The middle of the graphic is for Sonic 2006, English voice actors. The tip of this graphic is Pete specifically, because he was the one to put this on his resume. I want to ask Pete last, because he's probably been pestered with this before, so I won't push him for any questions. I also need to keep in mind that legal restrictions of this do apply. If Sega is not allowed to disclose any information about any games that they may or may not have been involved in due to legal issues, I completely understand that and I have to respect it. The same applies to voice actors, as they may not have the legal rights to disclose any information, as that could have been part of their contracts. I went ahead and googled my ways to contact Sega of America, which was basically just email and phone number. Since I have a chronic fear of talking to people, I decided on email. The best way for me to go about this would be work my way up from the bottom. I made a list of all the English actors in Sonic 2006, assuming that they would have been recasted for this project. I had a list of 11 people, however I had to shorten it. I was unfortunately unable to find anything for David Willis, voice of Duke of Solana. And even more unfortunate, Madeline Blaustein, voice of E123 Omega, has passed away. So now I had my list of 9 individuals from IMDb, and I was ready to get to work. The same day that I contacted Sega, I actually got a response, so that was pretty cool.
Dear customer, thank you for contacting Sega Customer Support. At Sega Support, our main focus is on assisting with technical and activation-related issues that are preventing people from playing our games. Unfortunately, we don't have any information regarding your question/inquiry. We are sincerely sorry for the inconvenience, but we cannot assist you further on this occasion. Best regards, Vincent, Sega Customer Support.
Thanks, Vincent. Anyways, now I had to move on to the next level of the pyramid. Sounds easy, right? Haha, wrong. With everyone on this list being professional voice actors and actresses, they're a lot harder to get a hold of, as we're most likely to dig out their agents first before actually reaching the people themselves. I tried to dig out employees from Sega of America, hoping that I could reach someone on the inside, however, it was meaningless. So, now that moves us up a level of the pyramid. Once again, I will not directly go to Pete unless I have no other options, so he didn't count on this level of the pyramid. The first voice actor I reached out to was Mike Pollock, voice of Dr. Ivo Robotnik, and this is what he had to say. Hi, Tyler. That's my name. Not that I recall, but that may not mean much, since things get codenamed, and I have no real reason to remember and account for every hour spent in a studio where no memorization is required. Best of luck with your search, and thank you for the kind words, Mike Pollock. Now, I had a bit of a dilemma. Mike stated that things do in fact get codenamed. Now, we know for sure that this isn't Sonic 2006, since Pete has listed the 2 individually, but is this a working title for a future Sonic game? Let's take a look at all the games Sonic the Hedgehog has starred in. Son of a bi- Well, this isn't looking super duper convenient on our end. So, the best we can do at this moment is try to reach the remaining voices and see what they have to say. As I moved further down my list of voice actors, I discovered that reaching Mike Pollock alone was a rarity, as it seemed that I couldn't find any others. I was at a roadblock, so where was I going to go? I decided to make another list, oh boy, of voice actors who I could find contact for. I only had 3. Yeah, and 2 of which were only found through LinkedIn, which I also don't have a premium account for. Even worse, I couldn't find any for Pete Capella online. I had officially hit a dead end. Now, this is probably where I would have given up if I didn't care about the search at all, but the most complicated searches are usually the best, and like I've said before on this channel, the goal isn't always to find these things, just do enough work to get people talking. Nonetheless, I still pushed onward to find more voices on the search. Usually when looking for these contacts, their agents pop up as well. However, this wasn't the case. So now I was facing a massive dilemma. I could end the search now and conclude the video with the information I had gathered so far, which in all honesty wasn't much. However, if I did conclude this video, it would have enough information to get people talking again. But I had a plan in mind, and thus I was ready to commence with it. So, Pete Capella was the tip of our pyramid. I established that before I could even determine that his contacts were really obscure. So what do I do now? Well, our lovely plan B involved me executing 3 tasks. One was using the Wayback Archive on Pete's website to find some sort of contact. The second was to contact Mike Pollock once more to inquire about other cast contacts. The third and final was to join a bunch of Sonic communities to find out as much about Awakening as I possibly could. Part 1 was done pretty nicely. I used the Wayback Archives at Pete's website, since I couldn't reach his normal one, and found a contact agency called Optimisment, I probably butchered that, which specialized in talent. I contacted through that website and waited for a response. Part 2 was executed nicely as well. I emailed Mike Pollock and stated exclusively in the email that if he was unable to connect me with the agents of Jason Griffith and Pete Capella or the voices themselves, to just disregard the email. He eventually responded, but only provided Twitter as contact. Part 3's execution was quite different. I scrolled through endless forums and Discord servers trying to get to know as much about Awakening as I possibly could. It is believed that the game was in development sometime between 2006 and 2009. Looking at other Sonic games, I was a bit puzzled. Where was I supposed to go now? Well, I decided to throw my stupid triangle graphic out the window and contact one of the best Sonic fans I know. That was Sonic King 9, who also made this video's thumbnail, and his channel will be linked in the description below. He basically said that he and many others believed that it was a beta for Sonic Unleashed, despite the game not having silver. Then the question was turned around on me, and I was asked what I believe it to be. And I'll give my answer. I personally believe that it was a working title for another Sonic game. Yeah, I know. Boo me all you want, but think about it. Why would Sega go as far as to get voice actors for a game, much less in English, just to have it never be released? It just doesn't make sense to cancel a game that far into development. And I know what you're thinking. Not all lost media makes sense, and I completely 100% agree with that. But we have to remember that Sega is a business. It's a company. It wouldn't make sense to just scrap something. If anything at all, it would have been reworked. And that's what I think happened to Sonic Awakening. So, we didn't find an alleged lost game, or anything that could have hinted at it. Pointless video, huh? Well, not really. Every time I upload one of these videos, I see comments of people who are interested in looking for the media I cover. Heck, I've even had employees of companies I'm trying to reach see these. I stated this a million times, but I'll state it again. These videos aren't just for the purpose of finding things. These videos progress the search so you know where you shouldn't look, where you should contact, and where you should go. These videos are mainly to bring attention to a topic that isn't being talked about, and this is something I haven't seen discussion about since my 10 unconfirmed media video. I know that there are way better searchers out there, and I trust they'll do a good job, but they shouldn't have to search alone. If you know that you are beneficial to a search through contacts or leads, please join the hunt. Join a community, help out, and show that you are one of the best lost media hunters out there. Before we end this video, I want to give a shout out to Sonic King 9 for helping me during the making of this video, and also making the thumbnail. He's a good friend of mine, and you could help us both out by checking out his channel. If you enjoyed today's video, drop a like, comment down below what you think, and of course, consider subscribing. It's free. You can hit that little bell icon below just to be notified of my next upload. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Peace!